Hey.
Should we do introductions as she's doing link bombing?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Andy.
Hello, I am Ahmed Hunter.
I am fail trolls. I am
tired.
fail trolls.
That's fair.
I am the Danny, and I'm currently doing link bombing stuff.
I am Ed. I'm also the DM. I'm gonna wait till the leak bombs are done before I start the session recap.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I've refined the results of the life box.
I'm just laughing at this picture of the kitten stealing the tape.
Don't mind me as I break my neck.
Don't do that.
Too late. Already happened. Dead.
Speaking of which, I just got a good crack too.
You're not my mom. You can't tell me what to do.
You're not my mom.
I would really rather you not do that while on stream.
Oh yeah, the stream has started.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll wait till after. So tempting to put something just terrifying in that box.
I can't get killed. I can't get over
Hey,
that.
it's a strange winged lizard.
D&D pop figures.
I'm trying to remember. The life box was a smaller box, wasn't it?
If I'm not mistaken, it's like the size of the Hellraiser box.
Okay, it was. I do remember it was a little bit bigger than that.
You didn't really specify a general size of them.
It would make sense that it would be about the size of the limit configuration, though.
Yeah. But again, it's not quite that small. I remember that much. I remember that much at least. It's not terribly large. It's like the size of a jewelry box, if I remember rightly. Like a large jewelry box.
It is smaller than Fauzi's 1 foot cube of boat.
1 cube of boat, please.
I had approximately 1 cubic foot of boat. Sure.
Sure, have this 1 cube of boat. It's just a chunk of wood. That'll be $9,000, please.
But we is live, and I have done all the link bombing.
Alrighty then. Well, we've all done our introductions. We've all got our jesting and jocking out to the side. Sure. I know what I said. We're moving on. I meant to say jesting and jockeying out to the side. That's not what came out of my mouth.
Yeah, no.
Anyways, last time on the Scattered Realms, Session 30, our band of intrepid adventurers captured the Salustius Bard, Travince the Human Dancer, Morrigan the Hexblade Warlock, Failsy the Sorcerer, and Brimstone the Shooty Boomy Man. The party found themselves face to face with the powder gangers, already set and ready to blow open the mouth of the cave they so desperately desired to break into. A battle ensued, and after a couple of close calls, bullets landing as near misses, spells clattering and smashing containers ready to explode, the final push was the coward's move of a goblin known as Big Brain, who tried to take the whole party out with him in a last-ditch effort. He blew himself up with a fireball, which also set off the slightly scattered payload of explosives, and Lee was caught in both blasts. We come back right as the party is sort of catching their breath from this explosion going off.
Okay.
It's literally you all... Let me actually get some ambience playing.
You.
I would play the sound of tinnitus, but that would get really annoying.
Yeah. I already live with that. I don't need to hear it again.
So yeah, you know the sound, that just ringing, that just ever-pervasive ringing in your ears.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fucking annoying.
Oh, why can't I hear anything?
Given the explosion was powerful enough to blow back the hobgoblins, as you mentioned,
Yes.
and Dravince was
Actually,
one
gonna
of
pause.
the closest to the explosion without being in it.
Yes, you were all thrown back by the explosions,
Yeah.
save for perhaps Brimstone himself being so far out of the blast radius. Yep, Brimstone was the only one not affected by it. Dravince, you went flying back, and I actually do have to resolve, because from your position to the explosives, you would have either hit a tree or rocks.
I think
Would've been.
Kenta would have hit something too.
You would have directly hit into a tree. Morrigan, you would have just gotten sent flying onto your... probably skidding to a stop near Brimstone. And Failsy would have also hit a tree.
Yeah, and then Osnig was close enough to Brimstone that he wasn't affected by it.
Osnig is fine.
I figured.
Osnick's just like, oh shit, big boom.
I'm gonna get rid of the turn order. Because it's getting in the way of me doing stuff.
Yeah, we don't need to turn order anymore.
So, Keta and Failsy, as you hit trees, you are going to take 3 damage. I'm going to roll a d4. If it's evens, you would have hit a tree. Dravince, if it's odds, you would have hit a rock. That will determine the damage you take.
Determine how much damage.
You hit a tree, so you also only take 3 damage.
If
Okay.
And you got
I'm able
stopped
to recover
early.
quick.
Sorry, what was that?
I said, and you got stopped.
Could you
Sorry.
repeat what you said?
For what does need to be repeated?
The result of Dravince hitting the tree?
You took 3 damage. And you got stopped earlier than you would have otherwise been.
Okay.
Yeah, you hit a tree and not a rock.
Yeah. If you had hit a rock, you would have taken a lot more damage, because obviously a lot more painful to hit a rock.
Yeah,
Yeah,
trees, even big trees have some kind of give.
Alright.
it's still painful to slam up against the tree, and I just picture Dravince, especially after taking the full force of the fireball explosion.
Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
feel too hot right now.
Just more laying against the tree out of breath. Probably not moving much.
Kenta is able to recover quickly enough. She's running towards the rubble site and starting to dig.
Kenta was pretty far back from the explosion, but at the same time, especially after being hit with the fireball, you
Still
would
pretty
still be
okay.
reeling. There's probably a few moments where none of you can really do anything as you're trying to shake the tinnitus out of your head and just trying to re-get your bearings around you. I'm forgot to edit the other map, so I'm editing it real quick to reflect what happened.
And then we'll go back to it.
Just basically when she can, Cat is running and starting to dig.
And as soon as Morrigan can get up, she's going to check on Dravinche.
Sorry, I had to step away for a sec. What happened to Felzy? Did she get knocked over?
She took 3 damage, and she got hit against a tree.
Ow.
Yeah, and currently all of you are just sort of like reeling, trying to regain your focus after being exploded twice. And I have to do a probability check about something, because there's also the shrapnel to deal with.
Oh, yay, fun.
Yeah. Oh, we're getting shredded as well.
Da Vinci, most likely.
No.
And 3. Alright. Keta, you are easily avoided by everything that happens, but Failsy and Dravinche, as you're sort of like trying to regain your senses around you, you hear inches away from your body just as just large boulders smash into the ground, narrowly avoiding you.
Holy shit!
Let me move everyone back over to the map now. It's hastily edited. But yeah. You guys narrowly avoided being crushed to death by falling debris. Alright then. But the hobgoblins are nowhere in sight. Actually, I forgot to add something that was for comedic effect and to help alleviate some concern. Where one of them previously was standing, there is now actually just a boulder.
Got smushed.
Probably. And I can't edit the base map, but imagine, I'll try to freehand it with a paintbrush, but this whole section of the wall is now missing. If you guys can see that.
Oh, yay, fun.
So I'm going to have to do something for a sec because...
It sounds like something's going on.
Yeah.
Failsy's taking a little longer to recover from tendonitis.
Felzy's very stunned.
Fair enough. Alright, but... justly so, though, Keta, Morrigan, and Brimstone, you were the first ones to really recover from this blast, since you were the furthest away from it. Brimstone, your ears are still ringing, but no worse than when you fire your gun.
I'm running over and starting to dig.
Like I said, Morrigan is running over to check on Dravinche.
Alright. You can see him with, as he posted, just against a tree, with a boulder that fell not but 3 feet away from his body.
She's just not even taking... She's not crying out for him. She's just being, like... I guess you could say, like, panicked but professional checking on him.
Alright then. Go ahead and make a medicine check. Keta, you can go ahead and make a... This starting off would be a perception check to see if you can even notice anything. Unless you're literally just going to start mad digging through the rubble.
At this point, she doesn't know where he could be, so it's trying to clear out until she can see flesh, so she can do heal word.
Alright then.
That's a 7.
Then that would instead be a investigation check with disadvantage. Since you have no idea where you're looking.
Is 18.
Alright then. I'll resolve that in a second then.
Yeah, my medicine check was a 7.
Bad, somewhat burned. Clearly dazed. But otherwise, how is Dravinche doing, Armored? Because she's noticing like superficial injuries at the moment, not necessarily anything that's below the skin.
He wouldn't have even moved until she got right up close to him. And even then, he would only move his head and not directly saying anything. But he would look towards her.
If like, it would not be any kind of like inside check in the air. She's just like in basically professional mode. She pulls out the potion she had. It was just the 2d4 plus 2, I think, is the standard healing potion.
Yep.
Yeah, she just take the cork out, and if he's not going to take it from her to drink it, she's going to pretty well do the whole open his mouth and
Administer
pour
potion.
it. Yeah, administer potion.
Yeah, easy enough to do. I don't imagine he's really in a state to deny it.
No, he wouldn't. He wouldn't actively. He wouldn't grab at it, nor would he resist
All right,
the
then.
administration.
All right, so go ahead and roll your potion roll.
9.
Ooh, pretty good.
That's
Dravinche,
almost max health.
some of the fog that was going through your head is from basically it being rammed against a tree at high speeds starts to clear off. You can feel some of the burns on your skin also just go from being like 3rd degree burns to just being blisters on your skin.
He will give a quick nod, but still not say anything yet.
Alright then. Keta,
Yes. Hi.
what area... Basically, pick a boulder and start digging is what I'm gonna say.
I remember seeing him about over here. Right?
Alright then.
So I'm gonna start over here and just start digging. I'm not that
Alrighty.
strong, but I'm determined.
Fair enough. So you just start digging like a tiny mad child searching for a toy. It's gotta be somewhere around here. It's gotta be somewhere. You don't find anything. Well, you find something. At first you think it's Lee, but you go to like touch and move it, because you see just basically green skin poking out from under the boulder. You move it, and it is just a removed from the body goblin limb. It's not really green; it's more like a grayish color. But you thought maybe blood plus green skin at first. That might have been it, but you realize pretty quickly that it's not.
Not this boulder then.
No.
On over here then, because he was close enough to her that she could yell at to him.
All right,
So yeah.
then. That, by the way, would have taken you quite some time to discover that, because again, you're not that strong. You can't dig that quickly.
They just hear her kind of screaming, like, fuck, just basically, I can't find him, and being very panicked.
Brimstone, you're more or less unaffected by the explosion. What are you doing while you see your party reeling, trying to get their bearings again? And Osnick just sort of like sitting next to you, just like with his hand over his mouth, just doing the "oh no" face.
I am back.
Just
Welcome
kind
back, Fizzy.
of mentally taking stock of just what the fuck happened.
You saw probably 2 of the largest explosions you've ever seen back to back.
Uh-huh.
I mean, obviously you've seen some pretty big explosions having been in war times, but to be that close to an explosion like that going off, it is almost getting you that sort of shell shock sensation again.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not dead.
Yeah, Filzy, you finally shake some of the ringing out of your ears.
What?
You see Keta trying to lift a boulder that's like 16 times her size out of the way in front of you.
Not gonna lie, with how stressed she is, she's probably starting to emit a little bit of black smoke.
Just cracking at the edges,
Just cracking at the edges.
as you do.
Just,
All right.
I was going to stumble over and try and work out what is the boggle.
All right, then. Okay. This would be the moment to talk to each other, guys.
If she's coming over to Keta, I'm trying to find Lee.
What?
You can hear at this point, Felzy. It's been a few minutes.
Trying to find Lee. I can't find him.
Where is Lee?
Ah, shit.
It's at that point, Brimstone, while taking stock, that you realize you don't see Lee anywhere.
Yeah. Oh.
He's a big boy, he's hard to miss.
Would it be a history check to try and figure out where he was?
You remember where he was, but you can try to make an intelligence check to try to figure out where he would have gone.
Okay, so straight intelligence.
Brimstone would probably have the best chance at this, but you can try, yeah.
7.
He might have flown off to the left, he might have gone straight to the right, he might have gone over the cliff with how close he was to the explosion. It's really hard to tell.
That type of explosion, he is over there, up there, down there, over there as well.
Yeah, he was at the epicenter of that thing.
He's just everywhere. He is within all of us now.
Hyperventilating cat to time. Brimstone, hearing that, if you want, hearing them discussing that, you could try to make an intelligence check as well.
Okay. Just straight.
Just straight, but your DC is different.
Okay, fair enough. 20.
Well, the DC was 12, so...
Brimstone saw everything.
Yeah, Brimstone really didn't have a chance to not look away. He was minorly blinded because of that fact, but... Again, he's used to firing an explosion next to his head repeatedly every day.
Yeah.
But yeah. You're looking around. Lee was pretty close to the epicenter, but you remember the direction he was facing it?
Mm-hmm.
You could look where Keta's currently searching, and she's probably searching in the right direction, but she's not quite where she should be. If you had to guess, you'd say he's probably somewhere in this giant pile of rubble.
Okay.
If he's anywhere. Because again, that was a big explosion.
Yeah, that was a big explosion. Okay. Just gonna gesture to Osnig to follow, come over here and just start digging up. Keta, if he's gonna be anywhere, he's gonna be over here. We don't have much time.
Keta's running and basically helping Brimstone to dig.
Osnig is just using one of his little knives to try to dig up.
At this point, she says, you might not be looking for green. She's
What?
Okay, I guess.
Oh, I get it. He'd be red right now. None of you understand what he's saying, but...
Yeah.
The
The only one who understands him is currently under rubble.
The only word you understand is red,
Yeah.
because it's a color. It's ubiquitous. At least when Goblin language is partially based off of Common, but also weird.
Like, while this is going on, Morrigon's just gonna be helping Dravince get off if he wants to stand.
Alright then. I'm gonna check game chat. Is there a reason he's not talking right now?
Not one that's explicitly stated yet, no.
No, I meant like you as a player.
Oh,
Alright then. Alright, Failsy now has mole hands.
Sure, why not?
just trying to avoid talking over people.
Alright then. Fair enough. Easy enough though. Alright. Yeah. So yeah, you're able to at least help him get up onto his feet as he's struggling to stand.
She just
guess
kind
he's-
of gives him a look of just like, the fuck happened? More, not to him specifically, but just in general.
He just kind of looks at the giant hole in the wall. With a expression that Morrigon has never really seen on Dravince's face. Just shock and fear.
Ugh.
Don't need an insight check to read that expression.
Yeah, no.
Alright then. Oh. While the two of you are, or rather, you're trying to help Dravince get his bearings again.
Yeah.
At least,
Because I think out of the three of us or the ones of us who were in the actual explosion, Morrigon got out of it the best. So it makes sense that she'd be helping the one who got the worst of it.
yeah. You didn't get hit into anything, and your natural resistance to flame also helped you a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I did.
Did Morgan escape the first explosion?
No, she was in the first explosion, but she escaped the second.
Yeah, the only one who wasn't in the
The-
fireball was Brimstone and Osnick.
Yeah, because they were both hanging back.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And
The
the
three-
only
the-
one who wasn't resistant to fire was in it.
Yay!
It's almost like that's a risk if you're playing a melee character and someone fireballs themselves.
It's almost like a goblin that was on a suicide path to get a rock. It's just like, everyone dies,
Yeah. Little bastard.
except for the person he didn't really super notice too well because shot him in the face twice.
Yeah, just took out one of his eyes. Or no, it was in the shoulder. That's right.
Yeah, almost blew his arm off.
Yeah.
He was aiming for who he could hit the most with the attack, though.
Nah, that's fair. Anyways. So
Yeah. The four of you start digging through that rubble, and I need you all to make straight investigation checks.
okay.
Investigate.
Well,
Can I inspire?
You would have needed to do it beforehand.
yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say Failsy, but she
Uh,
rolled.
I gotta remember what a goblin stat is.
Not a positive.
Yeah, I think it's a -2.
Do I still have it? I
Okay.
still some dominated fate, so I'm gonna re-roll one of those.
Reroll?
I will say this as the DM. The number doesn't really matter. I'm just seeing which one of you rolls the highest.
Oh, actually, it's just a flat.
Oh, okay.
Inspire Osnick then?
Hey,
Back!
you said it right as I hit enter.
It's fine. Brimstone, is the first to find anything. Oddly enough, though, you don't find, like, a foot or something. It's really bizarre. You find something that resembles a fin? There's just like a purple, almost like the back fin of a shark, just sort of sticking out from under a boulder you just rolled over.
Huh. Well, we need to clear this off. I think I found him.
The second Brimstone May pointed out, Keta, seeing a part of him at least, is going to cast Healing Word.
All right then.
Actually, no. If I can go over and touch him, I'm gonna just do Cure Wounds and expend a charge on my guitar.
All right.
So it heals something magic.
All right. Again, this does not look like an orc piece.
Well, Keta can figure that after what she's been told. She's just more so, okay, we found him. So it's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 he gets max.
All right then.
I'm assuming that even if it doesn't look like orcish, it's kind of mangled, so we can't tell.
Yeah, it's like a fin that has been broken. All right. But yeah. You run over to it and sort of grab the fin and cast your Cure Wounds, focusing some of the energy through your guitar. And just... You see the fin itself sort of like snap back into proper alignment, making this weird sound as it does. Like disgusting sound that bending cartilage makes. You just see it twitch.
He's still breathing. Continue to dig him out.
Alright then. Cutting back over to the other group. Because, again, they were searching for a good while to be able to find that.
Yeah, she just... Are you okay?
Da Vinci is just kind of stumbling along to the closest boulder, and it doesn't seem like he heard Morrigan, as he's just kind of staring down into the hole.
Yeah, as you look into the... I'm assuming you mean the now blown open cave entrance.
Yes.
As you look into the now decimated cave entrance, previously barely big enough for something of a goblin size to fit through, now easily wide enough for a cart to go through. You don't see anything other than destroyed stone and the continued passageway beyond. But there is an odd feeling.
And I'm guessing it's a feeling that Da Vinci is familiar with.
Sort of. It's sort of giving you that... It's giving you that, a sort of je me vu feeling.
Je me vu?
It's the opposite of deja vu.
Ah.
It's like something you think you should know, but it also doesn't feel the same. It's that same sort of chaotic welling of energy, but it's different.
Um, Da Vinci is just kind of leaning up against the rock. Mm. And it still doesn't seem like Morrigon's question actually got registered.
And she's just continuing to just be like, hey. And so.
I would imagine to her at this point it'd be pretty readily apparent that Da Vinci is just staring into the cave.
Yeah, she's even gonna go so far as just wave her hand in front of his face.
When her hand waves in front of his face, he just seems almost like he snaps himself or is just snapped out of some form of trance or daze that he was in.
I asked if you're alright. Can you hear me?
Barely. I should be fine.
You should probably sit.
No, I don't need to sit down.
Yeah, it would be at this point you'd both hear Keta announce that, both Brimstone announcing it to Keta, and then Keta reconfirming the statement that they seem to have found Lee.
Go.
You better stay put.
I will just go and help them.
Alright. Morrigon will then go over to help in any way she can over here, but still kind of glancing over every now and then to make sure Da Vinci is okay.
Alright then.
So.
Alright. You head over there to help them start, essentially, unearthing Lee.
Mm-hmm.
And it's bizarre because what they're currently digging out of the rubble, it's not an orc. At first, it starts with them unearthing a long, sort of split fin tail, but it just continues going up the body, just further, almost mermaid-esque, just going up a fish's tail, until eventually you find a torso.
God.
The tail itself, by the way, is practically in a coil on itself. But eventually you get further enough up the body to the point where you uncover abs, but they're very smooth in the way that you would expect an aquatic creatures to be. And you eventually do also uncover a hand that just sort of, almost as it is uncovered, it's just the three fingers and thumb on it start flexing, lift out.
I assume he's breathing.
You could assume so, though you haven't gotten to the head yet.
Is like the chest at least like lifting up a
Yeah.
bit?
Well, it's
Yeah.
moving, so yes. Like the
Yeah,
creature is
yeah.
moving.
And Kata's just assuring him, "We're trying to get you out. I promise. I promise." And she's like furiously moving rubble.
Like, Morgan just seeing this form being uncovered and not an orc, just still working to uncover it, and just looks at Ketsa and just goes, "Girl, you've got some explaining to do when we have a chance to breathe proper."
I have a lot of explaining
Yes.
to do right now.
Answers.
It's
Give 'em.
silly. Trust me, it's silly. It's just. What Lee actually is, she says as she's still moving.
Yeah, pretty much what Lee actually is, as you throw a boulder over to the side, you just see just this elongated muzzle, very shark-like features of a face. Still vaguely humanoid, but just with rows of teeth being exposed. Still with the two very pronounced bottom teeth that curl up on the lips, though they're more the sort of serrated shark teeth than they are the orcish tusks.
Just gonna drop down and hug him. At least very lately. Like, oh my god, you're still alive.
Keta,
Hey!
it's you.
Yeah, it's. Oh god. I did not expect you to sound like that. You have a tail!
What? And it just sort of like lifts up as he lifts up to look at it. What?
You have a tail!
Oh,
What do you
Hey,
remember?
what?
Do you remember?
What? He just keeps saying what while looking between you and the tail, which is now sort of like doing a sort of like a marine show-esque flippy around showing off thing. It's just sort of like flexing and spinning around as he's trying to figure out what it is.
Alright. Okay, this might be the best time to explain it, because, he's actually waking alive, and, it's gonna take engine. We might need Madame Elway here to explain it a little bit better. But,
Keta.
He looks down at himself, looks at his hands.
he's a Lavani.
He's a what?
What?
He's a Lavani.
It's at this point,
Madame-
Javinche, you've made it over to the others and see this.
What?
I've known for about
What?
like a day and a half that Lee's a Lavani, and Madame Elway recognized him as that, and that's kind of why he was sick. And this is why I didn't want him to come with, because I didn't want this to happen.
Keta. And he just like pats your face. And his skin is like really smooth in one direction, but really rough in another.
Only the one way. That kind of hurts when you do it the other way.
He pats you the other way. Calm down.
Okay, right now I'm panicking because
Okay,
He coughs
now
up
I
a
do
rock.
need to sit down.
okay, hold on. And she's gonna pat him again and cast Cure Wounds. Are you okay?
I'm out of my depth on this. Morgan just throws her arms up in the air and goes and sits with Javinche.
Well,
Why do I have a tail?
because you're Lavani and you didn't remember being a Lavani?
What is a Lavani?
An sea creature. Okay, you know the
I
Kingfisher?
think how this is going to be really confusing. Elsie's going to try a lying her ass off gambit.
Alright. I'm concerned.
I'm just trying to remember if she knows the bad things about Lavani.
I mean, you really don't know that much about Lavani.
Okay. I suppose she wouldn't do a lying her ass off gambit then.
Okay, you know the Kingfisher? And like the Kraken?
Yes.
And Madame Elway is a Lavani.
He's like flexing his jaw right now, and it like distends downwards.
Oh god, that's kind of terrifying. I really wish Madame Elway was here to explain this right now because I don't even know what kind of Lavani you are.
How could he take such big bites?
I'm glad you're taking this so well.
Hang on, I want to try something. Madam Elway. Just looks around in every direction. That usually works.
Give me a second.
Well, how are we gonna get you back? We can't. I can't. None of us can drag. You have a tail.
Oh, hey, actually. You say Madam Elway, and then just seemingly walking out of a crack between a crack in the wall, she just appears.
Well, that's convenient.
Oh, Jeebus.
Hi.
That actually worked.
Hello.
And pointing at Lee.
So I
Answer,
suppose the cat is
please.
out of the proverbial bag.
What's cats in bags?
People
Cats
who
hate
wish to
bags.
drown them.
Yeah.
Can you explain what is going on? He has a tail.
I mean,
Yes.
you already explained what he is.
She can explain it better.
I
Well,
don't.
there is no better explanation as what you all now see before you.
Yeah. I don't
He-
think there's a better way to explain it.
Lee is Lavani.
Isn't.
So how does he make himself turn back?
Lee
into a
drifting in
fart?
different directions.
Lee, it's like.
They refocus on Keta.
Good.
Well, really, only one of them does because his eyes are on separate sides of his head. Because again, he's got like a long muzzle of a head now, rather than just having a forward-facing face.
Have to work on that.
Is that indicative of being prey or predator?
Peoples.
Well, with sea life, a lot of them have eyes on both sides of their head. Like, he can still look forward, but only directly down his snout. Otherwise, he can look in all directions around his head. Which he seems to now getting used to.
Yeah, what Brimstone asked, is there a way to make him look like an orc again? Or like even just like, feet? We can't really drag him.
I mean,
Wait.
yeah,
I
he hasn't even
want
tried to move.
Legs. And you see his eyelids twitching. I want legs.
Catch
And you-
closing your eyes.
The fin on his tail starts splitting up the length of his tail, and it just sort of like bunches up into itself to make very rudimentary and kind of gross looking legs. Okay.
I mean, I guess that'll work. At least for now.
Oh.
Need some more healing.
No,
Are you sure?
that just hurt.
I mean, it also doesn't help that he just got blown up. No amount of healing is going to make that hurt go away.
Yeah.
I don't. He like starts touching his chest. Okay, I still have my ribs. Maybe. Yeah, ribs.
Why are we talking about ribs? You don't eat them, are you?
Is there anything specific about the type of Lavani he is, Madame Elway?
Actually,
He's not-
getting a look at him, he appears to be a Lavani Bruta.
Which is...
The stronger, oddly enough, the less magically inclined of the Lavani. Bit more physically imposing, a bit more charming.
Okay. You have big horns. Oh god.
Those things on his head are actually not horns, they are very large fin-like ears. Sort of like how Madame Elway has the long, like the elongated fin-like ears.
We're gonna have to get a big enough cloak to get you in the house.
I don't know what's happening right now. Why do I not have 5 fingers?
The best way that you've described it to me is that's what you are originally.
I am
I'm wondering if
confused.
somehow you were looking like an orc without meaning to, and when you got knocked the fuck out, you couldn't keep that form anymore, and you became like this.
That is essentially how it works.
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured. That's how. I don't know if it's magic or what, but that's usually how that kind of shit works.
Wasn't it because he, then Kata kind of makes it like the bite motion? The actual,
Kata, my
No.
darling, I have no idea what you're asking me.
Didn't it because he ate who was originally Lee?
What?
Oh, yes.
What?
Oh, I should probably explain to you all that.
I mean,
That would be very
yes.
much appreciated.
Yeah, can we just cut the bullshit and explain what the fuck's going on?
Thank
This
you.
this Lavani, back when I assume it was probably very young. And she actually walks over to Lee and then grabs his face and turns it towards her. Which, it's weird to see Madame Elway being forceful about something, but she just starts turning his head around. He's just like,
Lee, just
Calm down.
yes, very young.
Kat.
Still quite young. But probably when it was a good bit younger. Probably found the child Lee at that point. Drowning and decided to take from him his form, as Lavani often do when they are young. She finally just like lets go of Lee's head, and his head is just sort of like wobbling around as he's just dazed.
so.
They, and I do not say this, hopefully, fire. But Lavani consumed the beings of drowning sailors to assume their forms. Only those that would die are ready, never those that have a chance at life.
Yes, that's comforting.
Yeah. Comforting. That's the word.
I believe there might be a sort of analog for those more familiar with Fey creatures. Changelings, I believe you call them. But different. And anyone who's done some traveling in this area, so I'd say pretty much all of you, except for Osnick, could make a history check or a arcana check to see if you know what a changeling is. I'd actually give Dravinche advantage on this, because you've been deeply exposed in the culture that this is a part of.
Yeah, so that's a
7.
19 in Arcana.
Alright.
11 for Fauzi.
Alright then. Keta, you've heard sort of like boogeyman stories about changelings stealing young children away and replacing them with be raised in like non-Fey societies or non-spiritual societies. But they've always just sort of been like the boogie stories that you're sure they're true, but at the same time you're not sure how true they are. Dravinche, you've straight up heard tellings of this happening with specifically children of a particular colony of wood elves you've visited on occasion before. basically it is a type of, often referred to by the common tongue as a yokai, just meaning spiritual creature. But it exists to perform that exact act. To what end, it's not quite understood, but there is something about the buying and selling of mortal children that the truer Fae find very appetizing.
Yeah, I got no fucking idea what you're talking about.
It's the boogeyman that Dad told me that if I was naughty, they'd come and take me and sell me.
Not boogeymen.
Oh, okay.
Very real.
They're, I believe, elven children tend to find a high price in there for them.
Yes.
So essentially, Lee was replaced with, and she kind of motions down to Lee.
Yes, though typically, the Levani is the dominating presence, as a portion of the being's soul is also consumed. Not enough to prevent it from moving on to the afterlife. Not enough to keep it from going to elsewhere. Just enough so that it can know what it needs to continue living as that person. But it would seem that the young Lee's soul was quite powerful. And perhaps too much of it was consumed. So it's completely overshadowed the Levani that you now... So in essence this is merely Lee, but... in a more scaly exterior.
What?
So,
Oh my god.
if I'm comprehending this right, you're still what you would have been. Well, what the kid would have been, but you're a Levani instead of an orc. Just kind of
What?
look at. Yeah, that's an appropriate response.
His
Oh,
eyes are just going in two different directions, trying to process this.
Lee, don't think about it too hard.
I mean, he's still Lee, and I mean,
I
His
mean, I don't
memories are
feel
still-
any different other than the fact that I'm kinda...
He just keeps poking himself.
stop! You're gonna hurt yourself.
odd squishier.
And
That also
I-
explains why you could be underwater for so long.
hour.
I mean, frankly, he should have gills, but he doesn't when he's an orc.
I mean, I guess that would be a dead giveaway. I mean, hey, what orc has gills?
I mean, that depends on.
Magic
Where
is a
they
wonderful
are.
thing.
Kenta looks back towards him. I live in a town full of orcs, and I've not seen one with gills.
You
Kenta
don't
suddenly
live
has a
here.
flashback of many orcs who constantly wear scarves.
That
No.
Kenta, you don't live.
Listen,
Okay.
now, I think we're still trying to process all of this. And
Okay,
we'll
okay. I think the important thing is... I'm not dead.
you're not dead, and you're still you. You just look different.
Yeah. How do I look different, though? I want to look like me again.
And he suddenly looks like Lee again.
oh goodness gracious me!
But how do I do that?
And he
I
looks
don't-
down at his hands. Oh!
Apparently, you just wish for it hard enough. I don't fucking know. Looking it that way.
It's an innate talent that my race has.
So if he thinks he can, he can. Okay, sounds great.
No, more along the lines of we can always reassume the form of which we have consumed.
Yeah. So you know what I meant.
Yes,
Wait,
it
that kind of
functions
makes
similarly to certain spells you all have access to.
makes sense of what
Oh.
Lady Julia said before.
Oh, I know that one.
So if we throw I forgot the little goblin's name.
Wasn't it?
So if we throw the goblin down his throat, he can look like a goblin.
Let's not do that.
Osnick starts backing away.
He can
Why the
understand me.
fuck would you do that?
He can't understand your words, but he understands your intention.
Elsie, we're not experimenting with fucking shapeshifters.
No, I'm just clarifying with Madam Elway here. Is
No,
that the
that's
just-
not quite how it works.
He's not about to fucking die, first of all.
That and also the natural form must live its natural life cycle before it can be assumed a new one.
So
Yeah, because he's not fucking dying.
to live
Oh,
as
do
the orc until an orc's lifespan is up, and then he can look like another person.
That is more or less how it works.
Oh.
So he looks like a 19. Oh,
He will be Lee
Either-
until he is Lee no longer.
So
Good
when
news, Osnick.
the
You had a
times,
50-year-
so when the time span runs out, does he keep what he knew, or does
Fragments
he?
of it, but the rest returns to elsewhere with the rest of the soul.
So then he would become back to what he was before he became Lee.
There are always imprints left.
did you forget the people that he met?
No. Those are still his memories.
Oh, okay. That's more of what I was asking.
No, he will not lose his experiences. He'll merely lose the physical form.
Oh, okay.
It would be strange to see a dead man walking, would it not?
True.
Yes.
Eventually, he would learn actually how to create his own physical form to walk upon dry land. Much as I have.
Again,
Lee's eyes, even
Still
when
crossed.
orc forms, are still going in different directions.
it just gives us like a little smack on the head. Like, look forward.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. It's so much.
I think
I
it might be best if we go over this later when
I
we're not
feel-
all shell shocked, or at least all of you.
We definitely need to talk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it-
I'm so confused.
We'll figure it out later.
And I guess Lady Voltilia knew also before we did.
Now, before we get into another long discussion about this, what the fuck are we gonna do with the crystal in there?
I'm gonna make pancakes.
We
Stands
No,
up and
you
walks into
sit-
the forest.
Lee.
Nope. Kid just trying to like grab onto his pants or what's left of his pants, like slow him down.
I'm very confused. I need to cook.
Late. Just stay here and make pancakes.
Okay.
He starts building a little fire with sticks around.
Fantastic.
I mean, if it's wild magic crystal, she's gonna looks at Ella and Lee. They kind of eat that stuff, so I mean, well, the energy at least.
Certainly an option, I suppose, and that's up to them.
Lee found a dagger and is currently hitting it against different rocks to seeing if it'll make a spark.
Ah, goodness.
Elsie will flick a little firebolt into his
Hey,
fire.
don't blow up my wood.
And he pats out the fire.
Just let him do it himself.
Again, that's also an option, or we could test one of our objects against it, like how about his compass. We all have objects.
I
At
mean,
least
I
we don't know if it'll always act like that, though. For all we know, Da Vinci might have just got real fucking lucky.
Well, I think that was the case, but I also think we need to be careful with this.
It's really late at night right now, by the way, guys.
Elway, do you have Fenris?
She just looks at you like, do I look like I have a dog on my person?
That's a very loose-fitting robe. I have no idea what you're hiding in there.
I have a bird.
It's a blue jay.
Be quiet, Fenris. Get back in there.
What do you? That bark is too natural sounding to be Fenris.
Fair enough.
Be quiet, puppy. I saved you.
Just shoves a wolf puppy back into her sleeve.
Here's an option.
You all looked away, and now Lee has a roaring fire and is currently cooking pancakes in his walk.
Yeah, I never got it, actually.
Here's an option. We sleep here because it's really late at night. We all got severely fucked up.
Yes.
And then we figure out what to do in the morning.
I wouldn't worry about that hobgoblin, by the way.
She just smiles.
I bet you had a very nice dinner.
No, I didn't eat him. That would be gross.
Well, I know one he's paced up there thanks to a rock.
At least it seems my idea of shattering the crap a little bit.
Yeah, that might have actually been what saved him.
Yes.
If you hadn't have done that, we probably all would have been screwed.
I think I may have broken a rib again.
Can I actually speak?
Sorry.
Something about the crystal in the cave feels wrong. I had probably the most experience with wild magic so far. And this one feels different from the rest.
Do you mean it feels different from the one from the Zemos temple?
It feels different from elsewhere itself.
Then
How
I
so?
don't think
We could try the idea of one of our items interacting with it. But something's got... It's given me a feeling that puts me on edge.
I have an idea.
Dravinche, your spellcasting ability is charisma, right?
Yes.
Make a charisma check.
Sorry?
Make
Check.
it
Make a charisma check.
20.
You almost get the sense, the feeling that you're in the cave, it is that same magic, but it feels like it's been tampered with by something. Like something is trying to bend how it works.
And... wait. It feels... I think I've got... It's on the tip of my tongue.
Just take your time.
It feels... Failsy. Do you remember when I first showed you my watch? How you mentioned it was tampered with? Felt like there was a different energy with it.
I
You would
noticed
remember that.
had meddled with it and given it a new effect that it never had.
So you think someone or something's messing with whatever is in that crystal?
Either Big Brain messed with it first, or there's something else in there.
I have an
I don't know.
idea?
Hmm.
Possibly. So the only other time I've seen these crystals before is besides in the Zemoda's temple in my vision of himself's. Isn't I guess you could call it? And they were in a lot of crystals, and while I recognize the one in the Zemoda's temple, those outside of the prison felt weird. And the second I tried to touch them, I got blown back. So maybe the same tampering might have happened with this crystal.
What? Don't you decide and look at
Because we
I
could all
mean,
get
these little
blown to
goblins were able
pieces.
to go inside and look at it.
I want to look at it.
That
I think only one of us should go in there and look at it, and probably be best if it be someone who knows how to use a weapon.
I
Not,
mean, we all technically do.
I am a weapon.
I
Failsy, what if the thing in there is eating wild magic?
And I am an ineffective weapon.
I got it. I got it, sword.
Just kind of looks at Morrigan, and it almost sounds like either you or me. I don't want your Vinci going in there. He's fucked up.
Say you, Brimstone, you have the weird sword that you picked up from Game Master.
I have a weird sword too.
Why only one of
This-
us?
This weird sword like felt wrong when I was next to it, and like when Failsy went near it, and
Wait,
it
so-
specifically fucked up something
Wait.
that was like
Dravenche,
yes.
just kind of take out the sword and hold it close to him. Just knowing that individuals who are not exactly aligned with this sword feel off. Does it feel the
Yes,
same?
I already touched that sword.
No,
Don't
I
bring
know.
it close to me.
I'm trying to see if the same feeling you get off this is the same that you're getting off that.
It's
Is it?
not the same feeling.
Mhm.
That the weirdness that's coming off that sword, it makes you feel numb. But that's its own feeling. It's sort of just like a dulling of your senses almost. The feeling you're getting coming out of this cave is making you feel raw. Like something is being perverted.
Yeah, just
No,
a temporary, and then put it back.
Is
no, that
what is your
makes
HP situation?
Also, two things that are a bit odd right now. Felzy, your prayer beads are not vibrating.
They're not.
They
So
are
it's
not
not-
right now.
So I'm not sensing any chaos magic or wild magic.
You're not. They specifically react to loose wild magic in the air. They are not reacting.
Could that mean that whatever's in there is drawing wild magic in?
You're not sure.
what's the other thing?
The other thing, Brimstone, when you take the sword out, it
Mhm.
is buzzing.
That's fucking weird.
What?
Like you all can see the blade itself when he pulls out the sword is vibrating.
Okay, but before we get into that, Armored was saying something.
Yeah.
No, that sword just makes me feel uncomfortable. The best way I can describe this is picture you're a holy man, one who is went with sanctity, and someone opens up a brothel across the street. It feels wrong. Something is just wrong with this magic?
I'm not going to go in the cave, but can I see? I want to just see something with the feeling of being wrong, if it could be what I think it is, or have a suspecting of it. I'm not going in the cave. You can see me. I'm just going near it. Okay?
All right.
And
Show me
Keta
where
is-
you're going.
Keta's gonna pull out the guitar, and it's still humming with the life energy since I only expend at 1 charge.
Mhm.
She's gonna look at the party and stand like right here at the mouth of the cave.
The guitar starts resonating.
Nice.
Like you all can hear as the guitar starts just making this low sound as these strings are just vibrating.
Huh.
I think it might be me to go in there.
Not necessarily, because that sword Brimstone has is reacting similarly.
Does it feel wrong as I'm looking in there?
Make a charisma check.
20.
It feels familiar.
Keta, as she's kind of continuing playing, goes, "This doesn't feel wrong. What are you talking about?"
Keta, get back from the cave.
Please.
It feels like being in one of Graham's churches.
Guys, I might not understand this, but it feels like I'm in the church of my grandfather. It feels like I'm with my mom a little bit.
Keta, get back.
Please.
Why does it feel wrong for Fincher?
It could be because of... the best I can think is probably, like, different gods. I don't know.
Does
Like-
Javente worship a god?
Not directly, although the closest you could probably say is possibly Altea or Ignesia.
Possibly what, Orgnesia? You cut out on the first one.
Altea.
I'll say it. Okay.
Maybe it's a matter of perspective. Lee says as he flips a pancake.
Well, if that's the case, then maybe I ought to see if... my sword resonates with this anywhere.
Maybe. It might be something to do with magic.
Fair enough. Keta, would you step back and let me stand where you are?
Andy? Hello?
Andy?
What?
Sorry. Hello?
Okay. I thought my Discord cut out for a second.
No, my internet talking cut out. The second Keta, I was saying that Keta said she's technically bloodline of Grainham.
No, I didn't hear that part.
Yeah. I'm sorry, guys.
It's okay, you can't help if your internet cuts out.
Yeah, right now I'm on my phone on my data trying to get shit working.
Okay, well, just for... Morrigan asked if Keta would be willing to move, so Morrigan could see if her sword reacts in a similar or different way.
Keta would stand just kind of slightly off to the side, like kind of sitting on top of the one boulder over here. If the gray one,
Alright.
just kind of still watching and keeping a close eye on the reactions, or just take notes.
Okay. Should be able to move yourself to reflect that. Or wait, you can't move yourself. I'll move you. Get over here now.
I can't put her on top of the boulder, but
You're good. I got it.
Okay.
yeah.
And Morgan will stand here and summon her sword to see if there's any reaction.
You summon forth the blade, and aside from the same sort of sensation you get anytime you summon the blade, it does not seem to react.
Well, nothing on my end.
I know it sounds really kind of selfish, but I really want to go in there. It feels like home, kind of. I don't know the best way to describe it, but it feels... It's not, like, wrong, but it feels not, like, right. It's hard to explain.
Then Cat
What's stopping all of us from going in there?
Odom.
I mean, yeah, we all can go in. It's just, I think I should be at the forefront.
Only if you let Brimstone go in first. With you.
Yeah, just as Brimstone gets closer, does anything seem to feel off to him?
You actually don't even feel this magic sensation.
Yeah, it's
Damn
some
magic
magic.
casters.
That's some magic bullshit. I don't feel fucking shit. Whatever.
All you can feel is the blade's hilt buzzing in your palm.
Well, Brimstone, I guess.
I forget. Did it do that the first time I used it?
It had a hum about it, but also the first time you used it, it was different entirely. It had, like, fire inside of it, too.
Well, wait, even when I first picked it up, did it have that same kind of buzz to it, or only once the...
It was only once you presented it against the creature that you used to fight.
Okay.
Does it feel... I don't think we ever established if the sword felt weird to Morrigan just being near
What is
it.
Morrigan's alignment?
Neutral good.
It doesn't feel strange to you, but it doesn't necessarily feel like anything other than a normal sword.
So to her, it's just sword.
Yeah.
It's like...
I will hop down off the boulder and just stand there waiting for Brimstone as I'm going to try to fix my internet again.
Alright then. While you try to fix the internet, let's everyone take a quick break.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bio break.
Bio break
Bye,
and Andy fix her internet break. Everybody go get food, go bathroom, do what you need to do, stretch your legs.
I'm gonna shove a taco in my mouth.
Yell at the Eldritch Abominations to get the internet working, whichever works.
I don't control that.
So I'm getting the sense that non-chaotic energy is in there. Or
Or at the very least, it's not strong enough for your thingies to be reacting.
it's a non-wild magic situation.
Mayhaps.
Not sure why we're...
Internet should be coming back on.
Alright.
I just find it interesting that it's the person who has the Grandom guitar. It's responding to the best.
You might find out why.
I'm terrified for that.
Also, Fauzi's finally wearing her prayer beads out in the open. Keta would notice that they're actually Grainham prayer beads.
Oh shit. I mean, right now, Keta's kind of mentally focused on my boyfriend had a tail.
I have the feeling that
My boyfriend was a fish.
I've got the feeling that the analogy of opening a brothel across from a church analogy works for Da Vinci, but in the opposite. There's suddenly a church in front of him, and he feels wrong.
He just walks out of a brothel and he's immediately face with a holy man. And he's just like, "Mm."
No, too pure.
Fauzi would totally do that though. Open a brothel in front of a church.
Alright, I got internet connected back on my laptop. I will switch over to my laptop in a moment.
I mean, I get what church you open in front of because some of them wouldn't care.
The Church of Grainham.
They wouldn't care. One of their Azamar is literally the Azamar fertility.
Fauzi would
Would
open
fertility be against sex for pleasure?
Not really.
No, just ban all the condoms.
Pretty much. You can have sex for pleasure as long as you're contemplating the idea. But no. Basically, and this is mostly because of the current Azamar fertility being a rather promiscuous woman. But there is not like a stigma around recreational fun time having. Because if there was, then she couldn't do it as much as she desires.
Let's see, what other magical bullshit does Fauzi have on her? Not that much, I don't think. Nothing else godly, and Fenris isn't here.
Yeah. This is a weird thing to have to explain, but pretty much the only stipulation that the current disciple of fertility would have for brothels is to not enforce their women to take contraceptives if they don't want to.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
As I said in chat, the metaphor is kind of lost and kept due to the fact it's like, yeah, okay, a brothel across from a church. That's my mom and my aunt, basically.
The irony of the fact that that is literally what I just explained, more or less.
Sorry, I was letting it.
I mean, you don't have to apologize, it just reinforces the fact.
I think Fauzi understands the sentiment a bit more, living from her time in Fellhaven.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The city of no fun.
City of no fun. I should be able to move Ketan now. Give me a second. See?
The city perfectly analogied by the picture of the robot hammering the "No Fun Allowed" sign into the ground.
That's just Fauzi's childlike impressions.
Fails to still have a heal pot in her?
Hey, what?
In her?
Like her abilities. Fucked up.
What?
Does she have another cure wounds on her prayer beads?
Oh, Fauzi knows how to use cure wounds.
Yeah, it more so
And
it's
she
Kenta
has-
is kind of fucked up and needs healing.
Oh, yeah.
Keta needs healing.
Touch Keta's butt.
I was trying to ask that earlier, but couldn't get the words out.
Sorry.
And Felzy has so many spell slots. So many spell slots.
Yeah,
Thanks
same.
to
I didn't
Failsy,
even have to cast
Frenchie's
a,
back up to full.
I didn't even have to cast a spell.
Those spell slots are the amount of bullets you still have on you.
What?
Okay, cool. Which of these attacks are cure wounds? This one. 10 healing.
That's very good.
How much more do you need?
I'll be fine. I'm quite literally just 5 below then my max.
Anyone
Not even
else need
5'4".
No.
I just had a mouthful of cheese and lettuce.
Funny. Computer, I have this thing kind of called a number lock working. I don't know if you know it.
All right, I'm actually gonna head to the bathroom now.
Clunk. So I just made some peanut butter marshmallow squares. I have yet to try one, but they smell good.
Heal thyself. 11. Pass max. Yeah, so. Oh. BRB.
Hello, you fluffy kitty. Hello, you fluffy baby.
Oh, okay.
I wonder if the realization for fails a hit yet that Keta, did it with a Lavani and is gonna tease her about it. Oh, I told you so. I told you so.
Failed, maybe. Remsen doesn't really care.
I return.
No.
I also really loved everyone's reactions
dare
to
you.
just Keta what?
Yeah, just Kenta starts speaking and Remsen's like, slow the fuck down.
Is half expecting somebody to just cover her mouth and go, breathe.
So, what did everyone think of Lee's what?
It's perfect.
His utter confusion at everything happening around him.
I mean, that sounds about accurate, yeah.
And
That's,
also
that's just what it's like to be Lee.
Given what Lee has expressed so far, yeah, it doesn't make sense for him to be like, oh, I was a Lavani the whole time. More just like, what?
I had a tail.
I was in Lavani? What?
What's a Lavani? Why do I have a tail?
Squishy.
Why I no got 4 fingers?
I come back to hear Lee being befuddled about the fact that he's Lavani. I love it.
I mean, he wouldn't change. That's Lee.
Also, just like pat. Lee, can you not do it the one way it hurts? Okay.
Pat the other way. He's got that shark skin.
The cat's first concern is, oh my god, how are we gonna get you in the house?
But yeah.
How do I be me? Oh.
No, it wasn't how do I be me, it's just I wanna be me. I wanna be an orc.
Yeah.
I think my
That's
favorite part
literally his incantation for the spell alter self.
Yeah. But I want to be me.
I think the favorite part was Keta snapping in front. It's like, okay, Lee, here. Look here.
What? I'm not used to being able to look in 3 different ways at once.
Sorry, I was doing math in my head. 2 + 2 = 5, right?
2 + 2 = fish. I'm a fish!
Fuck. I am
You
also
are
4.
fish.
I'm an orcfish.
Or fish. I think, Failure, are you back yet?
Yeah, I'm here. Had to
Armored?
open a gate. People-
Did you click clack of armored?
I'm here. Been
Is
here for a
everyone
while.
back?
I think so.
Yo.
Oh no. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right then. Let's get back into things.
Nice. I'm excited to see what the fuck's going on.
All right. So pulling us back into the situation, you're all still sort of just gathered up. I'm supposing both Keta and Brimstone are currently the ones at the
Yeah.
cave, while everyone else is.
Yeah.
Osnig is
there's-
just easily handed him.
Yeah.
Durinche will go.
Oh, and Elway's gone.
Oh, of course she is.
Of course.
Yeah, she probably went back to the cart. We did ask her to keep watch on it.
As much as I'd rather you guys not go alone, it feels too wrong in there.
It's okay. Do you want a candy? I mean, they're the emotion I think I have some candies left on me that aren't the emotion candies.
No, Keta, I don't need candy.
Sure, it might make you feel a little less shitty.
I'm just gonna huddle in my cloak, and I'll stay out here with Lee.
Yeah,
He
you
will
need
make
to,
good pancake.
yeah, you just need to sit.
Berries in your pancake, Da Vinci, or do you want chili peppers? Or
Chili
both.
peppers
I
would
can
be
do
great.
both. Do you want both?
Sure.
Okay.
Morgan feels, are you guys gonna come in too?
I don't see why not. Feels bad for Failsy.
Morgan, somebody should probably stay out here and watch these three.
Yeah. I don't want, Lee to, pop. She makes a pop noise. And freak out.
Failsy, it doesn't inherently feel bad to you. It just feels odd.
I must have answers.
All right. Well, if anything goes tits up in there, y'all scream or make some kind of racket to where we know to come in there and help. All right.
I know how loud I can scream.
Exactly. Good.
Morgan, you can go with them.
No, if she wants to stay out here with you, she can. I mean, she is kind of your girlfriend.
Like her, she does not even deny anything. It's just her face goes very, very red.
You will make lovely babies together.
Wonder if they'd be charcoal gray.
Oh,
Oh, that she
So
runs off.
Morgan, do you want pancakes as well?
Yes, please.
Keta's get-
the state of our relationship is none of your business.
She's playing the
Is it
chorus to
not?
kiss the girl.
Is it not, though?
Are we going, or are we just gonna sit here fucking around?
Yep, well, yeah, Keta's
Go,
gonna step
holler,
in and-
holler if you need help.
Unless Brimstone's stopping her, Keta will step in first.
No.
Mhm. So those three, led by Keta, head into the cave. Meanwhile, Da Vinci and Morrigan, you're just sort of sat out here with Lee. He's just preparing pancakes for you all. Prepares your chili blueberry pancake for you, Da Vinci.
Yes.
Looks at Morrigan.
He's just huddled up in his big warm cloak.
Then just looks at Morrigan.
So, anything you prefer?
Just whatever easiest for you.
He looks around him at this small plethora of fruit he somehow has. I mean, anything's pretty easy right now.
Yeah, the same as whatever you made for Da Vinci. Might as well try it.
He gives you a slow side-eye Da Vinci, just like, should I?
She was able to handle those some of those hot wings at that one restaurant. Maybe dial it back a little bit, though.
Okay. Chili and blueberry it is.
Meanwhile, you see Osnig off to the side with a pancake that's almost as big as he is, just consuming it.
I picture like it's on the ground. He's laying on top of it. And he's just ripping bites out of it.
No, he has it on him like a blanket, and he's just slowly rotating it.
Yeah, there you go.
It's like when you have that fever dream when you're hungry, and suddenly you dream of a pancake on top of you. You start biting into it, but it turns out it's your blanket. Except this time, it's not your blanket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way,
Lee, not a fever dream.
Yeah. By the way, Lee is making like those big, puffy Japanese style pancakes.
Oh, nice.
Ooh, fancy.
He only knows how to cook fancy,
This is fair.
unless you specifically request otherwise.
Either fancy or ship food.
He cooked fancy on that ship.
That's fair. It was a pretty high-end ship.
He prepares for you the same, Morgan. Not nearly as spicy as the wings, but still somewhat spicy.
More blueberries than chili, actually.
Yes.
A good one for someone who is trying to broaden her spice horizons.
Yes.
Oh, right then. So, am I weird? Like, I was just a fish. I don't know what to think about that.
Lee, honestly, with the way things have been going here lately, I'd say you're fairly normal, because you stayed yourself even when you were a fish.
Okay. What about you, Da Vinci?
He just stays quiet for a bit, looking at his pancake.
Did I undercook it?
No, the pancake's fine, or it's good. I'm just trying to think of the right words. Lee,
Yeah.
you are a being that many has heard legends about. You that emulates the myth, or not myth, but the actings of creatures that are beyond our comprehension. You are in every way, shape, form, every way possible unique.
Is that bad?
And you being unique is not bad. People would call me unique because I'm willing to go into a fight dressed like I'm ready for a date night.
No, I can understand that. We both fight with the nipples out.
Some might say unique is bad. But I'm sure you know, Or you should know anyway, given you've traveled as much as I have. You see so many unique people.
Yeah. Unique just sort of becomes the new ordinary.
As to how you became what you are, I'm still undecided.
Hmm. So, I guess if what Madam Ilway said is right, I guess I ate a kid and became the kid.
Much like shapeshifters up in the north.
Hmm.
But according to Elway, it was either you do what you did, or the kid just ended up dead and never got to actually experience the life. You've given that kid a life. So that's why I'm undecided. What you are is very similar to creatures that would ruin families. What you are is very similar to beings that would steal away others in the night. What you are is related to one that has to something that has taken away members of my family. But who you are
I'm just
Who you
Lee.
are. You're Lee. You're still the Lee that's been traveling with us, cooking for us, and still a dear friend and companion to Geta, as insufferable as she has been lately.
He gives you a little bit of a stink eye. Just a little bit of one.
I mean, come on, the deal with the rabbit?
That was a bit extreme, yeah.
I
Anyway.
thought she was just making a joke, but honestly, I don't know.
She sounded about as serious as a heart attack when she said that.
What was a heart attack?
She sounded like she was being truthful. How's that?
Okay.
So, I'll say this plainly and honestly. I don't like what you are. But I do like who you are.
Okay. That's fair.
But continue being who you are, and everything will go out swell.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna start getting bedrolls ready. It's late. Hopefully they're all right in there.
Haven't heard any screams.
Not yet. Lee, let me help you setting up camp here.
Okay.
I'll keep an ear open for if we need to run in there, alright?
Okay.
Now we cut back to the inside of the cave view.
Ah.
As you all head further into the cave, the actual sounds of the outside forest just sort of die down. After all, it's pretty hard to hear them through several feet of stone. The cave mouth itself, while it was widened, it did not, because mostly you all destroyed some of the explosives without setting them off. It didn't completely blow open this entrance exactly as they should have. But it is still wide enough for you all to comfortably, though at some point you have to crouch, fit your way through here. And Keta is at the lead, yes?
If it would help, Keta would cast light.
I think you all have dark vision, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah, this is more so it's a lot of us seeing grays. So we can at least see a pretty detailing in color.
There's not much else other than gray to see right now as you're just walking through a stone passageway.
We don't know if we're gonna come across like a pit trap or anything like that.
Okay, fair enough.
It's gonna be cast on one of our horns.
Glowy head. Alrighty.
That sounds like a vague insult. Glowy head.
Sounds vaguely like an insult you'd throw out in Fallout.
Yeah.
That, or you said it to Genasi.
That was
Also
more.
But alright. You all are making your way forwards, and eventually the cave does sort of start to widen out. Basically, you're entering into probably what went from about 2 foot wide by 2.5 feet wide by about 5 foot tall passageway. So, Brimstone, you have to crouch down a little bit.
Uh-huh.
Sort of like walk like a crab to get through it. It almost immediately starts to widen out into a about 20 by 20 chamber. The ceiling for which is maybe around 30 feet tall. You can see with long... It's just hanging down from the ceiling. Just with gentle pools of water. You just hear the bloom, 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 bloom. As occasionally a drip of water will fall from the ceiling, run down one of the stalactites, and fall into the small collecting pools underneath them.
Does it feel like we're getting closer to the source of the feeling?
It feels like you're very close right now. At this point, Failsy, your beads are starting to finally react. But it's very faint.
Cat is gonna start playing again.
Alright.
And kind of seeing where the feeling leads her.
Make a performance check.
Ooh, okay, cool.
Or if you actually, because this is a thing we need to keep in mind going forward, use your proficiency in your guitar check. Because performance is different from proficiency with musical instruments.
Do you want me to roll a guitar check or a performance check?
A guitar check.
Oh, right. What am I using? What's my attribute?
This would still be charisma.
Okay. Give me a second to click down.
Yeah, because...
Natural 20.
Very fitting. I will, by the way, the reason I'm pointing this out is because I was discussing this with some other members of the party, but performance is more about the physical act of performance, whereas opposed to being able to play musical instruments and stuff is its own facet of performance.
Well, if it specifically call for me using a specific instrument I'm proficient in, it'd be...
Yep.
Or just general performance.
Yeah. I'll explain after game why it's important.
Yeah.
But still, though, the natural 20. You almost are getting a vibe in the air. You're just listening to the hums that your guitar itself is making and almost just letting that flow into music in of its own right. The sound does not carry out of the cave because it's funneled into a single solid point, almost. And when it tries to go back out of the cave, as it has to go around corners in the bends of the natural stonework, it just does not reach. But inside this single room, the music almost makes the whole room vibrate. And it's at that point you all feel a shift in the stone below your feet.
Okay. Look down.
You just see various small pebbles and stuff collected around you. And there are some signs that other, specifically goblinoids, have been in here. You do see various small bits of goblin iconography scattered around this cave. But what you do more specifically see is that in one of the distant pools of the room, under a very large stalactite hanging down from the ceiling, a light suddenly appear. That sort of vibrant rainbow-hued light start filling one of the pools of water.
I cautiously go towards the light. Kind of continuing to play.
Alright then. What are the other two doing at this point?
Fellas is going to follow and try and get a good look at what this light is.
Alright then.
Yeah, pretty much the same. Just following behind cautiously.
Alright. And just to give you all a bit of perspective, this is almost sort of like one of those limestone quarry-esque moon pool rooms. You know what that?
I think so.
Where it's just like these steps of water that sort of like gently go downwards in these sort of like semicircle pools.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So while playing, you're just sort of having to carefully climb your way up these actual pools that are ascending towards where you can see this light. Eventually, though, you all reach the top and look down into the water where you can see it. And you expect to just see one of those crystals. Instead, there's something wrong about this one. You can see several iron bars that are just shoved through the crystal itself. And it's hard to see through the way the water is constantly vibrating right now, but it almost looks like there's something inside the crystal.
It almost looked like the way they kind of skewered himself.
Yeah. The iron javelins that are piercing the crystal do seem very reminiscent of that.
Kat is gonna look at the camera. Do you mind if I...
Iron bars within reach.
Say that, Filzy, again?
Any of the iron bars within reach.
This is actually in a pool that's probably... Getting up to this point was about half the chamber, so it took about 10 feet going up about 2 or 3 foot increments every few steps to get up here. And you actually notice as you're up to this point, the chamber does extend further back. This was just what you came into was just like the first opening of the chamber. But the pool itself is deeper than you could reach into and just grab them. It's probably about... It's probably 7 feet below the surface, though it's hard to gauge, given that you don't have a proper ability to scale distance when something is underwater.
This looks like how they were skewering
Does it?
himself.
Maybe that's why I'm feeling so weird at the moment.
I
The
haven't...
crystal might be trying to heal itself.
I have an idea, but it would require me going in the pool.
What's the idea?
Brimstone, at this point, the sword is vibrating almost to the point where you can't hold it. And you start seeing the crystal on its hilt lighting up.
I could try... my idea is I could try to swim down and maybe touch it and see if I could start pulling the bars out. It could be a test of what I have to do later.
The crystal on the hilt is doing what? Ash, you cut out last one.
The crystal on the hilt of the Oceanic Order is starting to light up. How it did in the dream.
know if Elsie saw how that happened, or if that was while we were running for our lives and Brimstone did that on his own.
You all saw that at one point it was
Yeah,
just on fire.
Yeah.
It is, but the gym itself is currently lighting up with that same weirdly purple light.
Seems weird that both of our things are reacting like this.
I can't
You-
tell if your sword wants to kill it or eat it.
I think maybe eat it.
Who's to say that's not the same thing?
Do you, I mean, what other choice do we have right now? I mean, none of us can really reach down there. The only one who could reach down there will he.
And
Filzy, make a Constitution saving throw.
oh, me? Okay.
Yep.
$13.
You have to get away from that sword.
Just get it. Put it away. Put it away, or step back.
Brimstone, can you put it away? Just for a little bit.
It looks like it wants to eat me now.
Okay.
I swear, if you turn me into a D20, I will kick your ass.
Into a what?
Grass, she said.
No, into a D20 is what she said.
Yeah.
I don't think Brimstone knows what that is.
No, yeah, that's the point. Brimstone's not aware of what that is.
Elsie's a nerd.
If Keta can Keta stick her hand in the water?
Yeah, you can.
Does it
At
feel
this
weird?
point, you're starting to also get that weird, like, that sword is bothering you.
Yeah. Brimstone, yeah, just puts it away? Or at
The
least
feeling
sheathes
doesn't
it.
go away. You don't have a sheath for that sword.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I don't. It's just like in a belt loop.
Is the water burning Keta's hand? Is it like singeing off her flesh?
No, actually. It just feels like water. A little bit more viscous than water, probably a thick mineral water.
I can.
In
try
fact,
to
sorry. I was
Sorry.
going to explain real quick.
Achievement.
In fact, right now, the hand that's in the water and thusly away from Brimstone actually feels better. Like
And is
it's
it just-
making your skin start to burn almost, both of you.
I have an idea, Failsy, that just requires us getting in the pool.
Like I was about to say, Brimstone, can you just take a step back or stick the sword in one of the pools or something?
It feels okay when I put
Why
my
don't
hand
you
in the water.
just reach out and hit me?
But yeah. Brimstone, right now you're actually watching like hives raising on their skin.
At this point, Keta's probably climbing in the water just because she doesn't want to start itching herself.
Yeah, since Keta's getting in the water, he's not going to dip it in the water. He's just going to try to, like, take a step back.
And then you have to like step off the edge of the pool you're in and go down onto a lower level, but since you're tall enough, you could still see into the pool and see what's happening.
Okay.
It's almost instant relief the moment you go into the water, Keta.
Oh, that's better. He's a bit away from me now. I was about to say, I can breathe underwater.
You do it to both of us?
Unfortunately,
It's not that deep underwater.
the
It's
thing
okay.
that lets it breathe underwater is the mask.
Push on the
Oh.
pig.
Question: with Keta spending the time with Lee in the temple, she would at least be able to hold her breath long enough to maybe go down and touch the rock.
I mean, it's
Per
like
D&D rules, you can hold your breath for a number of minutes equal to 1 plus a number of minutes equal to your Constitution modifier.
You can do that 2 minutes.
And isn't it like 7 feet down?
Yeah.
So
Like
yeah.
the first of the iron rods, which are extending out a pretty decent
Oh,
distance
okay.
from this rock, are 7 feet down.
Oh, okay.
The large gemstone itself is probably about 10 to 12 feet under the surface.
From where we're sitting, does the iron rods look like they have any loops on them?
No, they just look like iron javelins that were driven through the stone.
Okay.
Have to attune to the mask that Game Master gave you. If you trust me with the mask.
It's not a matter of trusting you. I think it's a matter of attunement. Damn it, I hit the wrong button, but that'll do anyway. I think it requires attunement
It does.
while attuned.
Please hold my breath long enough to get down to
I'll make sure
one of the
to
bars.
drag you out if you run out of air.
I have a rope. Do you want to tie a rope around me? Might work a little bit better.
Give one end rope to Brimstone, or throw it at him since I can't go near that sword.
Yeah, basically, kind of
As-
lasso Keta's waist.
Has the sword like lessened, or is it still vibrating at that same intensity?
It's lessened, if only by a fraction.
Okay.
But it would still be that either of them came near you, they would still be getting that feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So tighten the knot around Keta's waist and toss the other end out.
Okay.
I'll put on
A
the
rope is
mask.
thrown at you.
Okay.
On tight.
You
Or-
still have the mask on.
Did it just disappear and I didn't notice?
I mean, you cast Alter Self on yourself, it goes away whenever you cast it.
Well, then I'll...
Now you're switching your mole hands to be the aquatic adaptation.
Oh, so this is the danger of it. I've got to actually say I take it off.
Right, but you assume the aquatic adaptation?
Yes.
Alrighty. Gills grow on the sides of your neck and on the actual sort of the sides of your body as well. Sort of like arms where your ribs are.
Good thing I wear skimpy clothes.
Yeah.
And once she knows Brimstone has the rope, Keta will take deep breath, then dive down and try to touch one of the rods at least.
Alright. It's not too hard to do so. Because again, they're not that far below the surface. Failsy,
And
when
5
you
foot.
dive down, you've realized something that's you have the aquatic adaptation, but this water does not have any oxygen in it. This
I
is
guess
mineral water in a cave. There's no breathing here.
Okay.
There
I
is
can hold
you can
breath.
breathe a little bit, but it's kind of hurting your lungs. It's like trying to breathe oil.
Through the normal holding breath rules, I think I can hold my breath for 4 minutes.
It's 1 plus a number of minutes you fire.
Yeah, I've got 3 constitution.
Yeah, so you can hold your breath for 4 minutes. Which is all. That's how you can gauge what a real human's constitution must be, apparently. You hold your breath. Alrighty then. But you both.
So you're saying I have a
Both
-2.
You can't hold your breath for 3 seconds?
No, he breathes like a sparrow. Like a hummingbird is like 50 breaths a
Constantly
second.
hyperventilating.
That'd be Keta.
Yeah, probably.
How
Alrighty
anxious
then.
she is.
You both dive below the surface now, and it only takes a few seconds before your hands can first reach or piercing this thing. When you touch them, I need both of you to make Constitution saving throws.
Con
What?
saves.
Yep.
Can't save.
19.
Sorry, I didn't hear you. And
It's all good. Con save, yeah.
Con's one of my actual skills.
17. Not bad for Keta.
All right, you both manage to grab onto an immediate sensation like you either just grabbed iron, something that was coated in acid. But you're both able to power through this painful sensation, holding your breath all the while.
Will it move the rod at all? Or is it like firmly stuck?
Make a strength check.
Save.
This is not a good string.
Just a strength
Nope.
check.
Yeah, 3.
That rod's not moving anywhere.
Gonna look at upwards, like go up.
I don't think anyone brought a burglar's kit.
I probably wouldn't even help you in this scenario. You're just
Yeah.
trying to like press your feet against work and try to pull out these rods.
Yeah, I don't think a crowbar would help against these iron javelins.
Uh,
If
They're
only
like
you had
6
an
feet
iron
long.
attraction rod.
because Fauzi's assisting.
Oh, were you assisting?
Yeah, because we're both there trying to
Alright.
rip for which get an advantage.
Katy, you would have it. Van, roll again and see if you get it.
Yeah, I was fine with 3, but
Oh, there we go.
That's a better result. With both of you pulling on it, there's a little give. It's like to the point where, Keta, you're starting to get to the point where you're almost about to lose your breath, but then you finally feel a as the rod pulls out an inch.
and at that point, Keta's gonna motion up to Failsy, like I need to go up, and just to take a breath.
Yeah, at that point you both can swim up.
Does this rod, when Keta touched the rod, does it give the same feeling like being next to the sword?
No, it's not the same. Like both of them are like a sort of burning, but the best way I can near the sword would almost be like being near a source of high, like where it's making the atoms of your body
Oh
like
god.
You're cutting out awful.
that my sigh came through.
Yeah.
It always does. The sigh always makes it.
Basically, being around the sword is like being around an area of high radiation.
Yeah. Basically, where it's making the actual like vibrate in a way it's
I think
Supposed
touching
to.
the iron rod is more like acid, whereas the iron rod is attacking your body. The sword is attacking your very being.
pretty much.
Right. Probably toss that iron javelin off to the side.
You didn't pull it out. You
Oh.
made it move in, piercing all the way through the crystal.
Okay.
But now it's
Even
supposed to wriggle it
with a
out.
roll of 8, you are very strong.
As Keta breaches, she's gonna look at Failsy and go, "Do you think we should mess with one of the other ones and see if they have something to help?"
Sorry, I didn't
Yeah.
catch that.
Do you think we should message someone outside and see if they can help? I think Dervench is
Well-
going to come in here, but I think... I mean, I don't know if Lee could help. It might make him feel weird. I'll message outside and see if
Oh,
they
you
have
better.
anything to help with iron.
Who do you message?
Ketil cast the message can't. Probably, honestly, like her first thought is going to be like Morgan and ask, "Do you know if anybody has anything to help with iron out there? You can reply to this message."
It feels like Keta just heard scream. Like, it is the message she just for some reason.
What? You were breaking up badly just then.
You hear the message Keta just said to you, but it sounds like she's screaming it in your head.
Ah!
What is it?
Just probably some spell. I just heard Kata's voice in my head. Us, if any of us know how to deal with iron.
What? Iron?
Acid. We're in water. Yeah, I don't have any destruction spells.
Phil help Ketchel then re-message. They're more like iron spears, but like, you know, it's kind of really weird to explain. Again, you can reply to this message.
She screams in your head again those words.
Okay, Andy, can you please repeat or type out what you just said, because you busted up some and I couldn't hear you. Sorry.
Dealing with basically iron spears and the like. But that's the gist of it. You can reply to this message.
Iron spears and the like. I don't know. Like, she's just right now she's just relaying what Keta's saying to her aloud so Dravinche can hear.
Are you okay?
I'm not used to anybody but my patron doing this to me, so it's a little weird.
Yes, the messages are being received at.
Do what?
Especially at messages are being received at.
I think you said especially the volume the messages are being received at.
How am I breaking up that bad?
I don't know.
It's in that instance, it's almost like your voice skipped.
Yeah, which is weird.
I don't know, man.
Something Fuzzy can do is bless everyone.
I don't think that might help. I think what Dravinche has might help, but it's the pure fact of we need to get the iron out before anything else.
And bless also doesn't help with ability checks.
It's like Morgan's like, knowing her, she's trying to remove iron from something. I don't know.
Well, I have that.
Oh no, sorry, not bless. But the Chewinga knows guidance, but someone needs to coax that out of him.
I do have that. That iron attraction rod, which makes collecting small things easier, but something like an iron spear. Are you able to reply back asking them to come back out?
I believe so. I don't know if I meant to. I'll just speak aloud and see if it works. Dravinche has that bar that attracts iron that might work.
It's good to hear this.
Bar that attracts iron.
I'll be nice and say yes.
Alright. Ketil go. Ketil responding kind, trying to, like, gauging the sound of Morgan's voice, trying to be a bit quieter, doesn't know that she's coming across as screaming. Well, can you just have, like, Lee run it in?
Even softer, it comes across just as loud. It's like she's holding a megaphone.
Oh, god damn it.
She wants Lee to run it into her. Lee, are you willing to go into the cave?
I guess. Don't see why I wouldn't.
I'm a bit worried about it, what having him so close to the crystal would do.
Probably better if I went and did it then.
We shouldn't know. I mean, I know you said it feels right, but maybe if you go look at it, you might know why. I don't know. This magic stuff is.
Sorry, you're gone out. Was he suggesting that Da Vinci go in?
He was suggesting that all of you go in. Do you want to hear why he said that? Because he.
I think I heard the go in and see why it feels wrong.
Yeah.
Have you ever been into a place where even from the outside you feel I shouldn't be here?
Not for any magical reasons, but yeah.
Yeah, it was when you guys took me to that one place where we ate the chicken wings.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's kind of like that, so...
Lee visibly shudders.
The idea of entering this place is... It's not... It just doesn't feel right.
Well, you all dragged me in that place. And then someone touched my butt.
Could Lee make a persuasion check against Da Vinci?
Yes, I will have Lee make a check. You can contend it with an insight check.
Sure.
I mean, because making checks against PCs is always weird.
Yeah. I normally just go like the player has a kind of DC in their head.
All right, that works then. You can set the DC. I'm not going to make you hold to what I just said. I say
Okay.
because I heard a roll but didn't look at it yet.
It was an 8.
All right, what does Lee roll for his That's performance, not persuasion. That would be a 18.
All right. We did convince you to go in there.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe something will touch your butt.
Oh, if only. He glances at Morrigan.
She just kind of smirks at him.
As you all stand up, Lee just pats your butt.
And now we're even. Except we're all still going in here.
Okay, keep an eye on Osnake, and we'll try to be back as soon as we can.
I thought we were all going in.
I was saying that to him.
I'm good.
Oh.
Osnake's currently buried.
You see his head is poking out of a stack of pancakes, and
You were breaking up real bad there, but I got the gist of basically Goblin is buried in pancakes.
He's occupied.
I said Osnake's head is currently sticking out of us. And he just looks like he's in heaven.
Yeah. He's got more food than he could ever imagine getting at one point. He's good.
He occasionally looks in heaven again.
I'm a bit
He's-
worried about.
He's preoccupied.
I'm a bit worried about leaving him alone, but let's.
I think it's gonna be like how now, where he knows where if he gets his food.
Fair. Well, let's go.
Right. In we go.
Alrighty then.
Probably would make most sense for Motogon to lead the way because she's got the best dark vision of us three.
Fair enough. You want the cave, and at this, you've had a chance to build the surface and try to pull on those rods a couple more times. Not really making a whole lot more headway.
In this kind of time, can Kenta at least lean down and touch the crystal top, or is that too far for her?
No, you can go down. You can be at basically level with the crystal if you wanted to swim down.
Kenta would just want to try to get a look at like what's in the crystal in that time.
All right.
Failsy will follow, just to make sure Keta doesn't drown herself.
Fair enough. Make an investigation or perception check.
For investing, I will do perception actually.
All right. Meanwhile, as the reckon swimming down this time, as Motogon and the Da Vinci come into view, and they're currently having to help trying and pulling Lee through this tiny gap that he barely fits through.
Duck your head this way, come on.
It's not my head, it is my tits.
Oh, suck it in!
Get your arms and shoulders through first.
Start rubbing me with his butter.
Where did you get butter?
It's Lee.
Yeah.
Also, he was making pancakes. What do you think he was doing to fry them?
Yeah, he's stuck in the crag that I had to duck through.
Well, it's because it's only 2
much
feet
larger
wide,
than
and
us.
Lee has a giant barrel chest.
Yeah, he's much larger than any of us.
Big boy.
Okay, time to lube you up.
In both height and musculature.
Only Brimstone sees this, not Keta or Failsy.
Yeah.
Motogon just looks over.
Hell?
We decided to come in and Lee got stuck, so we're trying to get him unstuck.
Why? Not why you trying to get him unstuck. Why did you want? Why?
Because Keta messaged asking if we knew anything about iron.
And
I'm Brimstone.
this rod that
Well, if they're trying to pull those things out, Lee's probably going to be the most help. Probably pretty
Pulling
stuck
what?
in there.
pulling what out?
We found the crystal. It's impaled with a bunch of iron rods. Also, I'm not allowed to get close to it because also Druincho try to pass me as quickly as possible. Apparently, the sword is burning people. I don't know why.
Wait, well, it's just a sword, though.
Yeah, even just being in this room, Da Vinci, you're now starting to get aware of it. This weird, like, irritation on your skin, like, as you get closer.
I'm guessing getting in the water helps because they aren't complaining about it now. I don't fucking know.
Crystal impaled with iron rods. Why does that sound familiar?
I don't fucking know. I don't.
Oh, dear.
Didn't
And we cut back below the water. Alright, so perception check was Failsy checking.
Yes. So, perception or investigation?
Whichever you prefer.
Ozzy has 0 perception.
So it's probably going to be
Probably
investigation.
21.
Yeah, pretty
All
good
right,
scores.
you both see this.
Ozzy has fish
So-
eyes.
Bloop. It's sort of like suspended in almost the exact center of the crystal. And you do notice that the iron rods are almost piercing through this crystal in a way that looks like either they specifically pierced around it or they tried to pierce. But there's just a big oval or a egg inside the crystal.
What's inside of it?
And
Big oval or a what?
it's like a big oval, and as you get closer to look at it, it almost looks like a giant eggshell.
I want it.
The feeling that Keta felt before gets stronger when she's closer towards this thing.
Yes.
His eyes widen and she like hits Failsy, and she's gonna immediately like motion up.
Just a quick test though. Holding the prayer beads in front of the thing, what seems to happen with it?
You notice that the iron rods start vibrating.
Like they don't like it, or they seem to be trying to draw the energy out of the prayer beads.
Like they seem to be pulling energy out of the crystal.
Maybe that's why there's so little wild magic here.
The second Keta breaches the surface, she kind of shakes, feels, and goes, "I think that's the, I think that's something I'm looking for."
You're looking for an egg?
Oh no, I don't know how to explain it, but something feels. I don't know. The energy feels familiar. Brimstone. Oh,
You look over at Brimstone just in time to look past him and see as Lee, like a buttered turkey, is popped out of this gap.
Oh, there you go. Hi, Kata!
Okay. Finally. Ow. He just grabs his chest.
Sorry.
It's not his fault.
so the summary of what's going on is there's iron spikes skewering the crystal, kind of like they're skewering himself, and then there's something in the crystal that kind of feels very familiar.
What
Keta,
kind of thing?
It looks like an eggshell, kind of.
Like a chicken egg?
I don't.
Little bit more aggressive than a chicken egg. It has like, it looks like an egg, but it hanging outside of it.
It looks like an egg, but has plating.
With the font of Granum being a.
I don't know.
I guess he is the god of life, and I guess
The-
that is one way that life comes into being. Joe.
The font of Granum is definitively a cup.
Well, maybe the cup's inside the egg. I don't know.
I don't think Raynham would have a font that is so dense in wild magic.
I'm.
And I
Keta,
iron
you said
rod
that.
pressing wild magic. They seem to be drawing the energy.
Keta, you said that, or Brimstone told us that it's a crystal embedded with iron rods.
Yeah.
Do you? Were we? Were we ever told where? What was it? Himself is?
I'm fairly certain it's in the Blossom Kingdom.
There's with the fucking Fae now. Whatever. Fuck, I don't give a shit.
What I remember, it was a big kind of grove, and a lot of weird trees. There was a crystal surrounding a cave, and I mean, I don't think this cave looks similar to the one she saw in her vision.
It's different.
Yeah, no, the cave that I saw was kind of barriered off by all these crystals. But it's just the way that it's skewered kind of looks like how they skewered himself, which makes me think that it was some sort of perversion to keep the wild magic kind of suppressed here, as they're doing to himself to kind of keep him suppressed there.
Okay, but if there's an egg in there
Keta?
and it's being suppressed, are we sure we want to?
Well, if we kind of leave it here, then there's going to be other goblins here trying to take it. So, I mean, do we leave it in the hands of other goblins?
Keta, I noticed something on those rods, and I think whatever's in there, Granum hates. Like, a lot.
Why do you say that?
Because Granum's symbol's on the rods.
No.
I didn't see that.
Because when Failsy was investigating, she happened to notice that engraved on the rods and partially rusted away by the mineral water at this point. Engraved on the rods is actually the holy symbol of Granum. It's like a repeating pattern along the rods.
It can't.
Though considering...
I don't know if... Sorry.
Though I really want to get what's inside there, so I don't particularly care what Granum thinks. But just so you know, Granum really does not like whatever's in that crystal. Or maybe just hates it itself.
My mom's kind of his daughter, and you take that out, and she can possibly talk to him, and I really don't want to have a god pissed off at us, especially the god of life.
Yeah, your grandfather is not the kind of person you want to piss off.
So, maybe, Keta, you can communicate with your mother.
Yeah.
Maybe you can talk to her about this. Let's get out this cave, and maybe reevaluate what's going on.
Okay, but Brimstone has to go first, because I don't want to get hives again. I'm already still itchy.
That's why I'm standing all the way over here away from him.
I don't see what Joel's problem with that sword is.
I don't either.
Can I,
Keta's in the water beside you two. Or
Lee is in the water.
Lee is in the water.
Hey Lee, can you help us pull out some rods?
No.
No,
Sure.
no, Lee,
sneaks below the
no.
water. He rises above the water.
Not touch
It's like a
those
periscope coming up and down.
rods. Touch them, they might hurt you.
I think
Well,
it'd probably
there's
be
only
best
one
if
way to
they're
find
left.
out.
Oh,
I'm just gonna touch him.
No. Keta's gonna smack his arm. No.
I mean, he literally just reaches under the water because he can actually reach that far.
Ow.
Just with turning over. He just touches one. Just pats it.
Nope, doesn't seem to hurt.
Okay, listen. I agree with Adventure's plan. We head outside, we take a rest, I talk to Mom, figure out, why would Granddad, want to impale a crystal with an egg in it? And we go from there.
Yeah, I don't trust Granum's judgment, because
I don't trust your judgment, Failsy.
well, the gods wiped out an island, so...
Yeah, and no offense, but you kind of live in a
Death
temple
tolls
full of
on them?
snakes.
I don't have a
Specifically,
death toll.
specifically, Aquila did that, not Granum.
Kingdom's always blamed for what Aquila does.
And
No, but Granum did impale a Fey Elder.
I don't give a shit. Just don't fucking touch the thing.
let's continue this discussion outside and let's just get out of here.
yeah. Oh, that means we have to get Lee through that. Oh, Lee, I'm sorry. I am so sorry.
Mm,
Probably shouldn't have brought
We're not going to remove the things. Can we at least get it out of the water?
I think we should just keep it in the water for right now.
I don't know if we can.
Yeah, we get a big rope and we can pull it up.
We can't understand you when you're underwater, sweetheart. You have to come up to talk to us.
It's sinking.
Sinking?
Okay.
It's sinking into the ground.
I need that thing.
Wait, no. I know what can bring it back up. I know what brought it up. At least.
What? Oh.
Can I lash some
I'll be right back.
rope around that thing?
He sinks below the water again and is
What?
currently trying to hold it from sinking.
Keta, what's going on? What are you
Keta,
saying
if you-
kept it up?
If
Okay.
you think playing the music is going to do it, then get up here and do it so we can see if it does or not.
Fails, he has to get out of the water first. It's the only way I'm doing it. I don't trust her alone in here with it.
Oh my goodness, Lee, you tiny angel child. You all just hear and something comes flying out of the water.
Oh, fuck.
Oh no.
Rip it out of the water?
No, the crystal doesn't come flying out, an iron rod comes flying out of the water.
Ah.
Then Lee immediately resurfaces, just like, it slipped, I'm sorry.
Hey!
Oh, I didn't mean to.
Leave hot on. Okay.
Get everyone out to the water.
Okay.
No.
Felsie, get out of that water right now, or I'm going to grab you and drag you out by your tail.
To give context, Lee just tried to make a strength saving throw to hold it up, and critically succeeded. But because he's grabbing the rods that those two grabbed before, he accidentally just ripped it out. I'm sorry.
Get in the water. Get down the water.
His head is like crunching into his own neck.
I need to double check something. Where's my stuff? Inventory. Do I have rope?
By the way, the iron rod landed next to Dravinche and Morrigan. It's like a 6-foot long iron javelin.
Does the rod feel like it's what's off to Dravinche?
Yes. It is what is making that weird feeling.
Okay, I need to step away from that thing. I need to step away.
Well, at least now we know what was making you feel weird.
I'd rather we just rebury this and never come back.
Well, we need to get the girls out of the water, and Failsy's being a stubborn little girl.
Then get her out.
Okay.
Can I pinch Can I pinch that rope and lash it around a few of those spikes at once?
None of them are really going in the same direction.
I know, like to loop around so.
So you can like try to hold it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could try. Just so you all are aware, previously it had 4 spikes going through it. Now it only has 3.
Just so she can anchor them off each other. Since I don't think there's anything like really. They're too smooth to actually tie onto exactly one.
All right. I'll just say that you can do it.
Okay.
Lee throws you out of the water because he was told to do so.
God damn it, Lee! Smash.
And Kenta
He
will get
climbs
out
out
of the water. Kenta will get out of the water after Failsy's out. Should I bring it back up or let it sink down through now?
Probably okay to let sink.
Bring it up.
At least
No,
you can.
you stop.
At least you can try to bring it back up, see if that's actually what happens, or if it was just happenstance.
I'll start playing just a little bit of the guitar, not like the same kind of as I was before.
All right. If you're just casually playing, you get the sense that seems to be what brought them up. But specifically, while Keta is playing, Dravinche, the rod next to you two, just starts vibrating. It's like it's literally jumping off the ground with how vigorously it's vibrating.
Okay, that's weird.
Your music's reacting more to the rod than the crystal.
I guess it's because this has life energy in it, and that's from Draenum.
So, let's get out of here. We've answered that question. Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here.
You know how to bring it. You know how to bring it back up. Let's go.
Like, can you get Failsy and make sure she doesn't get back in the pool?
He has. Although Failsy is really trying to get away from him, she is currently underneath Lee's arm.
I don't like being manhandled.
Yes, you do.
Failsy would rather it be Lee or me.
I will set Lee on fire and I'll melt you.
Let's just get out of this cave, everyone. Please.
Almost like holding a feral cat, Lee is just holding Failsy at an arm's length. Okay.
Yeah, Kato is gonna like kind of wrap part of her ripped shirt around the rod to see if that helps with picking it up at least.
It doesn't. Lee, after pushing Failsy through, though, just sort of just grabs it.
Shall we bring this?
Probably.
Okay. Everyone else go out first.
How are we gonna get you through the hole?
You're gonna need to pull me.
Okay.
Alright, well, if we all... yeah, if we're all on the other side, then Paul will have more give. I don't know.
I don't want anyone touching my butt.
Well, what about me?
As Brimstone passes by the rod, does the sword seem to react to that, or does it...
It doesn't seem to be reacting to that specifically.
Okay.
The blade seemed to specifically be reacting to the crystal.
Okay.
So yeah, everyone else gets out, and then Lee, with great effort, manages to squeeze himself through, while also dragging this iron rod along with him.
And in the progress of us walking, Kat will kind of start her, I guess, prayer to her mom. That's the only way besides, running back to the town. And basically it's kind of going over what the hell just happened. And, is there any reason Granddad would probably, skewer a magical crystal that reads wild magic energy and has an egg in it?
Alright. As it functions the same as the sending spell, please create a sending message and make a wisdom check.
Give me a second.
It can be a little bit hard to describe everything that happened.
And I will explain this. It is basically, you're giving the full explanation, but only certain words will be getting through, and that's why it's functioning as a sending spell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, everyone is back out of the cave now. Brimstone, Osnig is buried in pancakes.
Oh, I guess Morgan would see that too, just be like, huh, he's right where we left him.
Yeah.
I'm just picturing Brimstone just going, "What have you done to my boy? You fanned him up!"
No, not really. He's just like, when Monaghan says it's just, yeah.
Future Osnick character pictures is him with being fat.
It's not exactly like they fed him much. He was going to eat until he passed out.
I mean, also, to be fair, goblins eat a truckload and gain absolutely no weight because they have terrifyingly strong metabolisms.
So that's her message is, "Hey Mom, do you know why Granddad would skewer a crystal with iron rods with an egg in it? Okay, love you. I love you." It's 23 words.
Alright, now make a wisdom check and we'll see if it gets through.
Please, for the love of God, let this get through. Wisdom check. 16.
That passes the DC.
Woo!
Maybe not woo.
Yeah, maybe not. We'll see what the
Maybe not.
response is.
Because now you've
Yeah.
just summoned.
Yeah.
Mama Bear Dad.
Yeah, because that might be, oh, that's weird, or what did you just fucking do?
Keta, you receive back very quickly a message that just says, "What?"
I was kind of hoping it was just no. I don't know if sending conveys tone.
It's the message.
Okay, so there's no like vocal tone or anything.
No, it has
Okay.
vocal tone. At least for the sake of you understanding implication.
Oh, okay. So is it like? Well, I guess it would be Keta's. So never mind.
Sounded exactly like I just said it.
Okay. So more of confused. Than like
That was not a confused tone, but
I
okay.
guess. I guess yeah. Concerned maybe.
That was a. You did what?
Yeah. What did you fucking do? Okay. Oh, you got
The
disconnected.
tone of a mother who's about to beat a child's behind.
I didn't hear any of that because Discord disconnected me.
Oh no.
Basically, Keta, in response to her message, very quickly got back the reply simply, "What?"
Yes.
With a tone that fills Keta's behind with pain.
Keta has the wide-eyed look on her face, like,
Well,
How bad did we fuck up?
very.
Oh,
Okay, back and I'll quickly get the thing before.
No,
Raymond.
no.
we're not making it worse.
Cactus points her rapier at Phil. He goes, "I'm not getting an ass beating because you want an egg."
Your grandfather wanted it gone that badly. I don't think an ass beating would be all that you get.
Okay, but do you know what? Right now, Mom's right there, and she can get to me first.
Oh, I know.
And you know what?
First
She's
night.
gonna treat you worse than I am. Well, that I am gonna get treated.
And
I don't know what that fucking thing was, and I didn't ask the question.
Guys, did you not hear me?
No.
no.
Session for tonight.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I don't want to go much later.
Yeah,
like-
that's getting late.
Thank you.
But yeah,
A fucking mystery and a half.
so as a note, the session was supposed to end because I think it got not heard several times. Pretty much upon Keta saying, "Yeah, we fucked up."
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So I hope everyone have fun.
Cactus not looking forward to that.
Alright, time to default the egg.
Oh boy. Alrighty. Well, if that's where session ends, then Shilling?
Yeah.
You gotta give me a second because, internet decided to cut out again.
Fair enough. Does anybody else want to try doing any shilling while we wait for Andy?
Nope.
I do realize that I think another note didn't get heard,
Maybe.
which was the fact that, and I'm assuming it didn't get heard because no one reacted to it, and I just kept moving along because I didn't want to take too long. But once got in that room, the sword started reacting.
Oh, yeah, once we got
Arya
in there.
started reacting.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't hear that at all.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
I will take care of posting the link for you, Andy.
Thank you.
If you want to say the spiel, I will post the link.
Alright, yes. So, hi everybody! You just saw me as the anxious bard Keta. But normally Sundays you can find me as Desire, the fairy blood hunter. Twitch.tv/Azarian Citizen, where at usually 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have our World of Iona game. But currently, just due to real life circumstances and everything of the sort, we're taking a bit of a hiatus. But soon we actually are bringing in a new character because Desire is off on her path to become a paladin. So you can look forward to seeing me playing a brand new character who doesn't have as many emotional traumas as Desire. Sad. But yeah, that's me.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else have anything?
Nope.
I do not shill.
No shilling.
Alrighty, so then just me now. And yes, we were able to do the thing tonight, and oh goddamn, we fucked up. But we're just gonna have to wait until next session to see just how badly. So, should once again the fates and stars and all that loveliness align for us to do so, we will be back here next Thursday, 7 p.m. EST, for the next session of Scattered Realms.
Character's gonna get an ass whooping.
I think we all are.
Hers is gonna leave her body.
So, does everybody want to say good night?
Bye-bye!
Good night.
Alright, good night, everybody. We'll see y'all next week.